spirit animal eats old white ladies like you for breakfast.
True Detective Season 4 is a perfect example of everything wrong with modern entertainment.
Look, I'd consider myself a realist, all right? But in philosophical terms, I'm what's called a pessimist.
It really is a tragedy what True Detective became after the masterpiece that was Season 1, but that seems to be typical of most franchises these days. I had a small glimmer of hope for Season 4 based on the advertisements with Jodie Foster, a respectable detective in cinematic history, but I was sadly mistaken. From the very first episode, I made the prediction of how the show would end, through the obvious, heavy-handed narratives written by dumb ideologues. And after seeing how the show actually ended, spoiler alert, mad women kill all the evil toxic men over climate change and activism and shit. Propaganda kills all creativity, by no surprise. Let me give a clear example of why this show is so bad. So let's dissect some of episode 1 of season 4 because it's loaded with garbage that set off red flags right from the very start. Alright, so check this out right here. Did anybody else notice this while watching the show? The son of Jodie Foster's character is interacting with his child under the table, right? The girlfriend or mom comes into the scene, they chat for a second, and then they immediately go at it and get frisky. The toddler is still right there under the table. The kid didn't leave. He wasn't put into bed. There was no explanation. They're on the brink of taking off the dude's pants and making out like crazy. But he gets a call and is interrupted.
Fuck! Kayla!
Seriously?
What type of writing and scene construction is this? What looks like a 3-year-old child is right there in an open doorway feet away from all of this. Whoever wrote this, edited this, and constructed this scene is either an incompetent buffoon or should be investigated. The kid is right there. That is not normal or okay in any way. This is literal child abuse on open display in this scene. This episode makes derogatory and negative comments towards white people literally every few minutes.
How the hell did I fall for a white boy?
Can't believe she fell for a white boy. Why? Because they're just so evil?
My spirit animal eats old white ladies like you for breakfast.
Out looking for a white ass.
Else Kayla's gonna kick your pink ass.
Not to mention this kid looks like he's 3 years old, right? This is a drawing of like a 6 or 7-year-old who is actually pretty good. The kid can barely talk.
You do this?
The white boy, or the father, again in her own words, is disturbed the toddler is drawing some creepy, violent-looking crap.
She happens to like to tell him stories from his culture.
All right.
Relax, it's just blood spewing out of chopped off hands via a toddler who can barely speak. She has absolutely no concern over how creepy the drawing is. When the father is concerned over these scary cultural stories scarring the young toddler and giving him nightmares, rather than empathetically considering what the father is saying for his and her child, she says,
"I'm such a white boy."
Well,
the way this scene is written should tell people how truly mentally ill the writers of this show are. This dialogue is written by a deranged, deeply narcissistic, deeply resentful person, aka a woke psychopath. The plot, which is entirely established in episode 1, is a climate change type of activist having their tongue cut out by a bunch of toxic male scientists. Like really, you couldn't be a little more subtle and as an allegory or a metaphor. Are these the types that are being censored and having their tongues stifled in reality? I really don't think so.
How dare you!
In reality, these types are being given TV shows, movies, and video games and are destroying entire franchises. That's the actual reality of their voice being stifled. Let's look at another scene that I found to be highly disturbing and a reflection of the type of person that is making this show. And it had nothing to do with the show's actual plot. All right, so Jodie Foster's adopted daughter is making homemade smartphone prawn, right?
Because you made a video of
what?
of you screwing a 15-year-old girl that I had to watch.
Jodie Foster's dialogue then proclaims that she had to watch the video of a 15-year-old. So the mother of a 15-year-old actively forced Jodie Foster's character to watch the video. That's very disturbing dialogue and behavior to write into a show. Simply telling the other mother what happened wasn't enough, apparently. What type of sicko would watch that and force another mother or family member to actively watch it? And is all of this necessary to write into this show? And before your logical brain has time to respond to this subliminal crap that is blurring lines, they get into a fender bender car accident, triggering the post-trauma from the characters. So 2 examples of the blurring of the lines written into the show by psychopathic ideologues. And not to mention terrible CGI right from the start. Overall, terrible writing, unlikable characters, agenda-driven dialogue literally every 5 minutes, illogical scene construction. It's all blatant crap right from the start. When you compare it to season 1 of True Detective, where the bounds of morality and logical character behavior is established, in this show, everybody's basically a piece of shit.
What do you think the average IQ of this group is, huh?
Morning, Chief.
Her brain-dead son and ex-husband can't figure out how to turn off the repeated video and sound on the TV. The helpless dumb men in the show put a blanket over the TV to try and help mask the sound coming out of the TV. Jodie Foster saves the day, magically finds the secret way into opening the hidden drawer or cabinet.
Look at that.
Rather than pushing the off button on the Blu-ray player, she uses her fists like a cave whammon to smash it off.
This is a real good show. Strong and smart whammon, smarter than the dumb mans.
All of the characters in the show are walking shallow stereotypes, girl bossing and ruining the gas tank of the stereotypically toxic masculine male.
And then they cut out her tongue. They shut her the fuck up. Wouldn't have happened if she was white, though. They would have had the whole fucking police force out looking for a white ass.
Oh, no.
All of the other seasons of True Detective had white female victims, many of them unsolved. So you see this issue with this claim. And what is with the pathological obsession of comparing everything to white people at every possible moment? Why does everything have to be relative to white people? Why is that? It's getting exhausting. It's getting systemic. Literally everything that they put out there now is laced with this type of crap. It's also blatantly obvious. It's really sickening, but luckily I think it's actually backfiring more than ever. You look at the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff in video games. You look at Dylan Mulvaney. They are simply reaping what they have sown. Propaganda kills art. The show is written by mid-wit propagandists who are really dumb. So reject this crap. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment below. Thank you very much, and bye.
People incapable of guilt usually do have a good time.